Hello, YouTube fans, here again. Now, I did the two Halloween films. Let's do what they say is an Halloween film, and it's not an Halloween film. But no, to be confusing, it was an Halloween film. It was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, when this first came out, back in 1982, it was the most hated, it was the most spies, it got spat on, tickets doing its shit. But the funny thing is, over the days, this became a total classic. And I can see why. I can see why. Now, I would have offended this film. I'd have offended it over the days. It's now became a taters. What I mean by a taters? I mean a total classic. Because the thing was with this film was, and a lot of people forget this, and the people who were shagging it off back in the day forget this. But John Carpenter, like I said on the review on Halloween 2, he was only going to do two of these the Foffit stories. He was only going to do one originally, the ending with Michael Mathers, and you got the Effie breathing. That was just your typical thinking, how can I put it? Your typical sequel bait ending. The shape, it could be anywhere. Because it made money, and there's a lot of slasher films in the 81 era, that's when they decided to make a sequel. And then it kind of inspired John Carpenter to make an anthology film. So Halloween 2, in my eyes, the scene with John Pleasance as Dr. Humans puts that lighter and blows himself up, blows Michael up, he self-sacrificed himself to save Laurie Strode, it's Jamie Lee Curtis. That was going to be the end of that story. Michael was brown bed, and Dr. Humans was brown bed. But because this didn't rub off, they sort of resurrected them. Money talks and movies do amazing things. But yeah, moving on. So at the time, John Carpenter decided he wanted to do an anthology story. If this became successful, the next Halloween film, what would have been Halloween 4, was going to be something about an haunted house. But sadly to say, this wasn't successful. And you want me to rewind back what I said before that. So he was going to do one, and this was going to be Halloween 3, and it was to do with these masts, what kill people. So it starts off, I love the opening where he's got like, the old computers, and it goes, are you thinking, what the fuck's going on here? But then when you watch it, you got Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And it's one of these, people didn't like it because it didn't have Michael in it. Simple, you put your finger on the bit what has Halloween 3 on it. Look at Season of the Witch, and when you think about it, it's its own film anyway. It is its own film. You start off where you've got this guy running about, and he passes out. You've got these fucking two guys, business suits, look like Luppies, trying to freaking attack the guy, but the guy gets the better and gets away. He bumps into a guy who's working in a car wash space, the places that wash your car, and has salt, and you have candy and sweets. And he passes out, and he's in hospital, and he says, they're going to get you, they're going to get you. And then you've got a date guy in it. I love this guy. Love him. Remember his name? Tom Hanks. That's it, Tom Hanks. I love him. I remember him in The Fog, and I remember him in this. I also remember copying the lines in this. Remember the lines when I was talking about lockdown and the stupid people? I remember mentioning this before. The bit where he says, stop it, stop it, stop it. I copied that because I thought it was just an iconic line. A lot of people have copied it, and it's a very memorable line, but that's at the end. I'll get to that. So he basically plays like a doctor, searching sort of person, and the guy gets killed. And then when you think about it, this is a pretty violent film, very violent, because this guy, he puts his fingers in his eyes, crushes his fucking face with his bare hands. You're thinking, fucking hell, this guy, what's he been eating? Blood and spinach? But there's a bit more to that. So one of the nurses comes in, tops what's happened, she's streaming her head off. Our mate Tom Hanks runs out. He puts oil all over himself, puts gasoline on himself, gasoline oil, gasoline on himself, lights himself, blows up the car and kills himself. Thinking, fucking that's the way to start the movie. Every 2 minutes you got like a month on it. It's like, do we really need that? But it's an idea that things are to come. So there was a reason for that. So you've got like the month every 2 minutes telling you it's October. You've got this very attractive looking dude, who I believe originally was going to appear in Blade Runner, same name, and this come out, but she never got the role. Instead, she got the role in this. And so she told us of who murdered her dad. It turns out this girl, the one who got murdered, had his eyeballs crushed and all that. It turns out that was her daddy. It was her dad. And she's pretty upset. And the doctors told us, because this has never happened before, no murders and things like that has ever happened in the hospital. Whether this was supposed to be the same hospital where Michael Mathis was attacking people, different story. So, you've got the wife, and the funny thing is that plays his ex-wife in this is the same one that plays Laurie Stroden's mate in Halloween 1, and sort of makes a test appearance in Halloween 2 as a body version of her, which is funny because if you've seen Halloween 2, there's a bit where it's a fuck up, where you see her accidentally blinks her eye when she's playing dead. She's in this anyway, different character of course, and she plays that sort of like a bitchy wife. I don't say good at playing bitchy roles. She's been in a lot of Tom Carpenter films, Precinct 13, the original Halloween, Halloween 2, and she appears in a little scene in this, where she plays Tom Hanks's bitchy wife. Oh god, bitchy, because I thought she was bitchy the way she acted. But anyway, they move on to investigate what's going on. And I always love the music in this. It's very, very cheaper. And when you do get the gist of the story, it's also a very ballsy thinking film. It's a film you would not get away with in today's PC era. You do get Jamie Lee Curtis not make a test appearance, but makes a voice appearance. If you remember the scene where you hear, Turfu, Turfu, we've got a 10 o'clock, Turfu, Turfu. That's actually no more than no less than Jamie Lee Curtis, who actually did the voice in the scene. And you've got one other guy who runs the Fats, who makes his Halloween masks. You think you've seen him before? Remember I was reviewing the Halloween films, Halloween 1, Halloween. I meant to say Robotop. The one that played the mayor in Robotop 1 and Robotop 2. He's in this and he plays the main villain, which you don't know at first he's a villain. Goes Baycots and he makes his Halloween masks and you think what's going on. But it's a ballsy film. You've got a scene where a woman's trying to hack into the mast. This electric thing comes out. Now I do know originally that was censored down a bit, but on the uncut one you see the after shots where all the face is peeled open, it's burnt, you got bugs coming all over the face. Really gruesome. Sort of bit I didn't get. It's a bit where that dude and Tom Hanks suddenly start doing it, you know what I mean, and start falling in love straight away. I thought, where did this fucking come from? So I thought that was a little bit, but it's still not a bad film. She gets kidnapped because the bad shot's shotting on what these who pretend to be a couple who's moved to this place near Ireland, near the part of America, and not who they're pretending to be. They're trying to investigate the death of the girl's dad. And you find out what he's using these masks for is basically to kill people, to kill kids. There's even a scene where he kills a fucking family, which is pretty ballsy when you think about it. This is a ballsy film when you think about it. So this mask, there's a sort of a thing, and everyone remembers the advert. This advert is the most irritating, the most annoying ad going. It goes like this. 3 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days to Halloween, and it just goes on and on and on until it turns a hole in your fucking brain. But I love it because after the bit it gets tatsy. It's one of them, it's an annoying song that it's played and the ad is played that many times. There's even a scene in it where they play a little TV spot of the original Halloween, which is a love letter to Tom Carpenter. But they play that ad that many times, it literally just comes a hole in your brain. But Tom Hanks gets taxed as well. He manages to break out and he saves the girl and he destroys the Fats, destroys our main villain. Well, you think he does, but you find out that's not the case because he took over the TV channels. So that ad, 3 more days to Halloween, the minute that gets paid and the kid has their Halloween mask on, because he's sort of like condoms saying if you put your mask on at a certain time, we're going to put out a surprise. Yeah, the surprise is you're going to get killed if you wear a mask. So Tom Hanks is getting out, he's trying to save the day. What little do you know, the girl the tattoo who is his woman, he's one of them robots, because as I've always forgotten, the guy that put gasoline on himself was a robot. This is funny, this is before, let's say, this is before the Exterminator. It was before, well, you could say it's not like Westworld, but it's before the Exterminator. And if you think about it, they did it even then. So this guy was like a businessman. The robots. So she got turned into a robot. Asked me funny, is she still alive? Did they make a robot of her? Did they kill her? We never know. But he kills her, what's a robot. His car's fucked. He runs out. He meets that guy where it started, the one who's working in the car wash place. He says, we've got to save people, we've got to save people. He's getting everyone to turn the channels off. Then the only thing is to leave one channel on. And he's going out, he's going, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! And everyone remembers the ending of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Everyone remembers it. It's a memorable ending and it made history. But sadly to say, the film bombed. People were crying the river because it didn't have Michael Mathers in it. And the idea, what John Carpenter did, that being Halloween 4, The Haunted House, got stopped. John Carpenter decided to move on with his career and do other films. So another producer and director did Halloween 4. But that's a different story. But in my eyes, it's pretty much all tacit over the years. And I like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I like it that much. Why not? I'm going to end it on a good note. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it!